G4 TV, the short-lived network that stood for women's rights.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
And when that didn't sell, they brought on Amaranth in a two-piece bikini and she jumped into a pool full of balls.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! It's Amaranth!
There's a woman. How much you
Oh my God!
Skip it up and that up. So I'm not even going into the full story again. G4 TV was around in the early 2000s. And for some reason, someone thought that everyone would have a nostalgia boner if it was brought back. But what they didn't realize is that it was a different time. There wasn't user-generated content. And the people, well, Adam Sessler people used to like, but the people that everyone wanted to tune in for weren't there. And no, it wasn't Kevin Pereira. No one gives a crap about Kevin Pereira. No one cares. Well, in October of this year, less than a year after it launched, I'm so shocked, G4 TV shut down. And a lot of people didn't know that they were losing their jobs until there were posts on Twitter. Like Gerard the Completionist. He had no idea. Wario64 notified him. I'm looking at it right here, right now. They show the whole statement, Wario64 and Gerard under here. Hey! This tweet is how I found out how I lost my job. How neat. Sounds like a great company to work for. Remember, they were hiring people from the ground up on cancel culture. If you think I'm just trying to be the quartering right now, go find out for Miss Click. Literally, when they hired her, they were asking her, what superhero would you cancel? Here's the clip. I'm not going to be lazy. I'll show it to you.
Do you think now that G4's gone, I can, talk about stuff?
Yeah.
G4?
So,
what do you mean?
Okay, so, people are always like, yo, G4 shut down because of this or that. And I'm like, bro, I was already sus with G4 shutting down from the interview process. Because, the guy that was interviewing me, he goes, so why should we cancel Batman? And,
What?
I was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah. Why do you believe we should cancel Batman? And I was like, why are we canceling Batman? He's like, because he's rich and he's white.
Well, anyway, Adam was on the Biggest Problem podcast, which after even they remastered the audio, doesn't really sound great. And I'm going to read to you what he was asked here, Adam. And his response to the Frosk rant on this podcast, because Adam Sessler was featured on it. That might be a nice thing to mention, by the way. It was weird.
It's weird.
It was kind of like, no, I wouldn't have stopped her, but I would have... Well, it wasn't a great idea. Well, let me not paraphrase and let me snort up some snot onto my microphone and read to you exactly what he said. So Dick from the podcast goes, would you advise her to go through with it or delay? And Adam responds with, I would never tell someone what to do. Yeah, I don't like that. The only thing I would have probably said is what could happen in terms of the attack. And then Adam Sessler says that he was afraid that his whole aura from all the stupid crap he's done throughout the years would overshadow the rest of the network. He wasn't the reason that the network imploded. Its content was just boring, but he did overshadow. He was the best way I could describe Adam on there, he was the cool kid back in high school, but everyone found out he was a dick in college, and he's now 40 and trying to go to a college keg party, and everyone's looking at him like, yeah, no, dude, just stop. You're 40, go home. That's what I felt like with Adam on G4. He wasn't even there most of the time, man. He was working from a home studio. He was literally phoning it in. He was phoning it in. And this is what he had to say about the Frosk rant, which doesn't really show any signs of support for Frosk here. When he was asked, would you advised her not to do it? And this is what he had to say. Well, I wouldn't have kept it from happening, but I became pretty certain the shitstorm that was on the horizon. And yeah, that shitstorm happened. But again, it wasn't the reason that G4 imploded. Well, it seems that Frosk is beginning to realize that in the entertainment industry, not just gaming, that everyone is a snake in the grass and you should very rarely trust people. And she's giving up on the gaming industry. This is what she had to say a couple days ago on Twitter. I've been angry for a long time with my peers for not using their power and voice to stand up for others in the industry. Had to come to some hard terms that people who I've known for years, who I thought were good friends, just weren't. Devastated me for a long time. Anyway, I'm leaving the industry, found new work elsewhere. This industry is really messed up, and what happened to me and plenty of others wasn't fair. And it could have been avoided if we all had stood up together. You let me down, but I get why. Cheers and good luck. So first off, Jay and I were talking about this in a Twitch stream, which we actually stream on Twitch. It's kind of like a podcast, but not. We call it The Last Show. And we were talking exactly about this before this whole Frosk situation about her quitting the gaming industry went down. 99% of people, not just in the gaming industry, but especially in the entertainment industry and in the corporate world as well, they're snakes in the grass. They'll tell you that they're your friend and everyone acts all hunky-dory and, oh, we're so happy in front of the camera. But behind the scenes, holy crap, there are so many people that loathe each other. And they would throw you under the bus in a heartbeat if it meant furthering their career. See, I could tell Frosk is like in her early 30s or late 20s or whatever, because you're an adult at that point, but everything is still binary. You don't realize how much gray area and context and how shady people can truly be. Like, you're not naive, you're an adult, but it's like, wow, people actually really do these terrible things. Like, they would throw me under a bus to save their career. Yes, they would throw you under a bus to save their own asses and save their own career. 210%. And there are fakes and there are frauds everywhere that will, if it seems convenient for them and profitable for them, then yeah, okay, they'll stand up for you. It's like, all right, I'm on the right side of history here. I guess more people will follow us and more ad revenue. But the proof is in what G4 TV did. They're sitting there when Frost did that rant. You got Sessler doing his seal clap. It's weird from the Black Hukage, whatever the hell his name is. And Gerard's sitting there with, like, literally he's sweating and the beard gel is coming out of his beard. And then literally, like, weeks later, they're like, oh my God, the ratings are tanking. Screw what Frosk said. We need to bring on Amaranth and her fake ass breasts. And they literally did that, and they were talking about blue balls. The same, and keep in mind, you saw a clip here. They were hiring from the ground up on cancel culture, and when it didn't work out, they did a complete 180, which even if people were looking for Amaranth in a two-piece on G4, it was so disingenuous, and people were like, really? You go from one direction to the polar opposite because you're losing viewership? And then other things Adam admitted there that was weird, I almost forgot, is that back in the day when G4 was starting to tank, he was purposely being abrasive on Twitter to try to save G4, which that's not something you want to admit. That makes you seem fake, Adam. Look, I'm going to end this, though, because I don't dislike Frosk. I have no issue with her. Yeah, the rant was dumb, but the rant was not what shut down G4. I don't care what anybody says. It was the mediocre, bland, boring content. As a 41-year-old man who has been disappointed with many people in the past before, I will let you know this. I don't care what field you're going into. You're going to be disappointed. Like, you're going to meet people that will be your friends, and as soon as it's not convenient for them, they will push you right out of the way to save their own asses. It's just, unfortunately, how human nature is. And that's why Jay and I, if we don't like somebody like Pat the NES Punk and Ian, we can't stand them. We let it be known, because I ain't being friends with anybody I don't like, even if it was to further my career. Honesty is the best policy. This is proof of it. And just remember, man, at least this is what I've learned. I don't trust people until they give me a reason not to trust them. I don't trust them until they give me a reason to actually trust them. And that is how you will get further in a career like this, or any career in the entertainment business, because most people are just looking to use you for their own benefit. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.